Alright, inequalities part 2. Yes, there's more. Alright, let's look at this example. 2 is less than 3. So, if we do anything to this, what happens? So, what I mean by that is, if I add 1 to both sides, almost like an equation, we should be able to get similar answers. So, I add 1 to both sides, I get 3 is less than 4. Okay, good. That works. Now let's multiply by 2 from both sides. So I'm going to multiply. So it's going to give me, so I'll get 6 is less than 8. Alright, good, that works. Check. I could be checking this. So check, check. Alright, now let's try something else. Let's try dividing by -2. If I divide by -2, what happens? Well, I get -3 and I get -4 here. Now, is this true anymore? Is -3 less than -4? Well, I know I would rather have -$3 than -4. So no, that's not true. So what ends up happening is this. The sign changes when you multiply or divide. And don't worry if you don't hear this. The next slide tells you this. Multiply or divide by negative. The sign changes. We must change the sign. So sign changes. And this is why, right? It needs to be true, and that's what happens, alright? So, here, let's go to the rule. So, inequality rule, whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you must change the sign. So, here's my example. So, copy this down as I show you the example. So, I divide by -2, divide by -2, and I'm left with x. 12 divided by -2 is -6, and this changes its direction. So let me make that in black so you guys can see. X is greater than or equal to, and let me graph this for you so you see what that is. So I have 0, I have 6, I have -6. So greater than or equal to -6. So that's how we solve that. Okay? So let's look at a few examples. Alright, so something like this. 3 minus x over 4 is less than 8. Well, what's my first step? My first step is I want to get rid of this guy first. So I subtract, ooh, we don't want that. We subtract 3 from both sides. Now this goes away, right? I don't know if you guys like the line or not, but that's gone. So I'm left with keep your sign. This sign comes down. This I see gets forgotten so much. So negative x over 4 is less than 8 minus 3 is 5. So now what do I have to do? Well, now x is being divided by -4, so I'm going to multiply by -4. And I multiply by -4 over here. So again, these cancel, which is good. That's what I want. I get x alone. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. And this sign is going to change. So I have x is greater than negative 20. So let's graph this. Make your number line, and you can make it go up by whatever you want. So I'll make it go 0, negative 20, 20, and it's greater than. So this is an open circle, and all the numbers bigger. Alright, I'll pause here. Alright, whoa, what is this? 3x plus 2 minus 5x is less than or equal to 9. Well, no. These are like terms, so I can combine these. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2x, and then recopy this plus 2 is less than or equal to 9. So, and then this 2 goes there, right? So that's what's happening. This one's not going to work out that nicely, but that's okay. It's actually good to get used to fractions, because we can get fractions. So now I'm going to subtract this 2 and subtract 2 from this side. So I'll be left with negative 2x is less than or equal to 7. Now I need to get x alone, so I divide by negative 2 on both sides. And I'll be given, or I'll be left with x. We don't know what that is. It's actually you could do this in your calculator, and you could get negative 3.5, or negative 3 1/2. But this guy, we divided by a negative, so it is greater than or equal to. Okay? And we need to graph this now. Another greater than or equal to. I'm showing you all greater thans. So, with something like this, again, you could just make this 3.5 and this negative 3.5. And it's greater than or equal to, so it's closed and getting bigger. Alright, so let's look at a problem like this, where we have to distribute. So I go and distribute this 4 here. So I can recopy what I get. So it's 4 times 2 is, or I'll do that, 2x minus 4 times 1 is less than 12. So becomes 8x minus 4 is less than 12. And now you guys know how to solve this. So plus 4 plus 4, 8x is less than 16, and just go ahead and divide, and we don't need to switch the signs because this is a positive number. So x is less than 2. Oops. Now let's graph this and then we're done. So x is less than 2. It looks like this. Okay? So I'll have you guys try these.